words. Chuck, Kristen, Pat Carroll, and I think Kelly Martin is going to make an appearance too. And then I want to have the last word, if I may. Okay? So, have I screened? No, actually, I have not screened any of this. I have no idea. Buckle up. So, Chuck, where'd you go? There you are. Come on.
All right. Can folks hear me okay? All right. So as Gene said, my name is Chuck Soule. Hi, Stafford. How you doing? So, like many of you, I've known Stafford for a good number of years. Now, a little bit different for me in that I've known Stafford in a few different capacities, not just as a co-worker and as a leader at LL Bean, but also some of the other activities that he has in his outside life. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. So I'll talk about that, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about work too, so you guys can relate to that. First off, Stafford will probably have another job after this as an analyst. So you may not know, but he loves to look at things and analyze them. And one of the things he did is when the new Shaw's was being built a number of years ago, you folks may remember that, he did some analysis on what it would look like if we added another light in town. He did the analysis of how long the existing light would be, how many hours he'd be spending there every night when he went home, all that sort of stuff, and sent it to the state. He did the same thing when we went to the Serace building. If you guys know, at some point the swipe card was off to the right. He counted the number of steps over and back and then multiplied that times the number of days in a week, the number of weeks in a year, calculated the number of man hours, and basically put in a case for having it moved. And for those that know, it now has been moved inside the Well, I saw a little bit of that. I didn't have the detail on that. So. And so in retirement, Stafford, the other part of the analysis, if you could get back to me on some of the Motley Fool subscription that you have now and some of the stock analysis, that'd be great. Okay, another thing is Stafford is actually a self-professed romantic. And he has a great sense of humor, as you might know. He's given me some great gift-giving advice over the years, and Leslie, you could confirm this. I really haven't yet to this day know whether it's just Stafford's sense of humor or his gift-giving. But he said at one point he gave you not one, but 2 cords of wood for winter so that you could stay warm. Is that true? Yeah, that was one of them. Well, I didn't get the power washer one. Something about a compressor. I'm not sure about what that was. The other one he did is he bought a wireless printer, because if he had a wireless printer, because everyone knows that Stafford works at night, he didn't have to keep getting up, and it was way more romantic. He could sit next to Leslie on the couch without having to get up. So that was really nice of him as well. There's that. Okay, one thing I do share with Stafford that most of you do not is our last name. Soule, okay? So that's one of the things that we have. And so we've never explored that, so maybe in retirement, Staff, you could figure out if there's somewhere along the way that we cross paths, or at least our families. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about his family, because his youngest son, Todd, was in the same class as Caitlin. So one day, Caitlin came home, I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade, first day of the year, and the teacher had asked them, are they brother and sister? Well, that's a fairly common thing to ask, right? And knowing that family, the Soule family, is like they are, Todd straight faced it, yeah, she's my sister. I've never heard that, but that's actually the case. So I wanted to make sure that you had that. Now, one other thing around that, Stafford, I had something for you, because I dug through your trash a number of years ago. I saved it for this specific occasion. I have something that says, the Soule Man. It says a little bit about my frugality, that I actually dig into Stafford's trash. And so we all know that Stafford's actually very frugal. He's given me advice about Priceline. He didn't tell me about the don't bid on the 1-star, and I won't tell you why that was a problem. I need to have updates on heating oil. He gives those to me regularly. I expect those in retirement as well. Leslie's not available, I'm up for that 50% off at the beanery. You're going to hear a story about vending machines and Stafford's kind of frustrations around that. Kelly will give you an update later. And there's one other thing I want to share with you. So Stafford professes to have great frugality. What I have in my hands is a case. Once upon a time we had blackberries here. Stafford got this off Amazon for 99 cents. A genuine black Perry case. He didn't know that made a big difference until he called the problem into client support and said, my BlackBerry battery keeps going dead. It's because he was putting it in this case and it wouldn't display, shut down the display. So. I found stuff in his trash can. Yeah. So the last thing I want to share with you is, really, we have fun with Stafford, but I would be remiss in not saying that you folks know what a genuine person Stafford is, and it doesn't just happen at work, it happens outside of here. As I said, you know, the community of Freeport is a small community, and so he had kids in the school system at the same time that I did, and a bunch of other families. And so at one point, one of the families had an issue where the dad had an issue with his knee. He had broken his knee, and he had to have it replaced. And so his daughter was in the same class as Todd and Caitlin, and so this guy called Todd, and Todd actually, there's a connection here. Todd had some best buddies, Raynol's son, and also Bob Mailer's son, Danny, and Danny actually was dating this gentleman's daughter. Unfortunately, they were unable to come over and take care of some trees that had blown down in this gentleman's backyard. Stafford heard about it, picked up his chainsaw, went over, cut up the tree, and took care of it while these people were gone. They never knew who it was. And that was Stafford.